the Alabama Crimson Tide. Jeff Palermo along with Hall of Fame coach Yvette Girard. Alabama comes in with a record of 9-0. Lady Cajuns are 6-0. And not only are these two teams undefeated, but they've also been winning by wide margins. So this should be a fun contest tonight, Coach.
How about this, Jeff? Both starting pitchers have 0.00 ERA. Both teams have been selected as preseason conference favorites to win their conference.
Should be some great softball here tonight. Let's take a look at Alabama's lineup. They've been slugging it pretty good. 14 home runs on the season already as a team. Jenna Johnson leading it off, Ashley Prang, and Kaylee Tao, Allie Shipman, Abby Dorr, Bailey Dowling, Megan Bloodworth, Lexi Kilfoyle, and Dallas Goodnight. Kilfoyle will be the pitcher for Alabama in this game, batting in that 8th spot. Now let's take a look at the Lady Cajuns and how they will line up defensively in this one. From left to right, in the outfield will be Hayden, O'Neill, Ushte, and then around the horn it's Campbell, Langeliers, Kodzelnik, Roman, Sophie Piscos is the catcher, and then your pitcher for the Cajuns, it's Megan Shorman. There's a look at Megan. The junior right-hander, so far really good, Coach Girard.
She's a transfer from Kentucky, so she has some SEC experience, 2 years there. Big-time rise ball girl. Her go-to pitch, though, is the curveball. She's going to throw about 66 miles per hour, and her curve she has to have that curve to be successful.
Certainly does against this offense that's been very good for Alabama as they come in with a record of 9-0. And their head coach, of course, Pat Murphy, in his 24th season, 1,100 victories under his belt. Jenna Johnson, the left fielder, a junior, steps in, and we are underway. And the first pitch is just a little bit high to Johnson, who's hitting .435 on the year, has 10 hits. She has walked 5 times, has been hit by a pitch. She has struck out 6 times. Going up against Shorman, who has struck out 17 and has not allowed a walk this season.
What you want from your leadoff hitter, they're her on-base percentage at .552, and Shorman falling behind early here.
Shorman, as you mentioned, a transfer from Kentucky. And Cajuns have been throwing several different pitchers this season so far, as there's a strike across the letters.
There's that curveball we were talking about.
Two balls and 1 strike, and that one sails high and away, 3-1. Cajuns have not played in a while. It's been a long time.
8 days.
8 days. Very strange to have that kind of a break, but they're going to be playing a lot of softball here over the next few days.
They'll catch up, but they were playing very well, and now I'm sure that Coach Glasgow might have wanted them to keep playing.
Popped up, easy play in the infield. No problem at all underneath it for the Cajuns. That was Campbell to get the first out of the ball game.
That's a good job by Shorman to come back because she fell behind early.
They'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Ashley Prang, for Alabama, the third baseman. Another player who hit from the right side in tonight's ball game. On the year, Prang is hitting .435. Another one that's up and away. 23 at-bats on the year. She's got 10 hits. She's driven in 9 out of the number 2 spot. And she's slugging .957 on the year. A transfer from Ohio State as she's from Indiana. The 1-0. There's the strike on the outside corner.
You see that curveball at 68 miles an hour. Shorman has a changeup that can be in the 50-mile-an-hour range, so that's quite the contrast.
This is the first of 2 meetings between these two squads. They'll also meet Sunday at 11 a.m. in Youngsville. We'll talk a little bit more about that as the night goes on, as that pitch is high and away. 2-1.
Only thing with the curveball, you really want to work ahead because you want the movement of that big curveball so you can use it. But if you don't work ahead, you can't throw that ball a pitch off the plate.
Here's the 2-1, jammed her and chopped it foul. Cajuns have a team batting average of .453. In the circle, they have an ERA of 0.40. Only them and Oklahoma are the only two teams currently ranked in the top 5 nationally in batting average and ERA. This one is slugged down the left field line, and that's going to one-hop the wall. Rounding first and heading into second is Prang, and she's got a double, her second of the season.
And that was a no-doubter off the bat. Once it goes past Hayden in left field, you knew it was a double all the way.
Slugged that one really good, and now Kaylee Tao will come up to the plate, hitting .250 on the year. 4 hits and 16 at-bats. Does not have any home runs and 6 RBIs. She'll bat from the left side. Alabama's got 3 hitters in the lineup tonight that will hit from the left-handed batter's box, and she lifts a deep one out in the right field. Going back, and this one is gone. Alabama gets on the board early in this one. A 2-run shot from Kaylee Tao. Her first home run of the season, RBIs number 7 and 8.
Well, Tao's a big-time player. She's a 3-time All-American, and this is her final year. And Bama's showing early why they're number 2 in the country.
Not much wind in the ballpark. That ball just kept carrying, and it got out of here.
And there's no question, this is a hitter's ballpark. It's kind of sitting in a hole here with the trees and the buildings around it.
So a quick meeting in the circle. And I'll bring up the cleanup hitter now. Allie Shipman. She's a transfer out of Tennessee. Alabama made it to the semifinals last year of the Women's College World Series. As a team this year, they're hitting .325, excuse me. That was their 15th home run, and now they've scored 67 runs in 9+ games. And another pitch high and away here to Shipman.
First pitch is getting Shorman in trouble here. Command is supposed to get her game, but as I said, to be able to use the big movement of the curveball, although she doesn't have true spin. Ooh, there we've been looking for that changeup, 53 miles an hour, and that was a perfect pitch.
Beautiful off-speed pitch, evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike to Shipman, the catcher.
Big hitters of Alabama need a steady dose of changeups.
Hits it the other way, and that's a solid single out in the right field. And Shipman now has a modest 4-game hitting streak.
Bam already has 3 hits in the first inning.
So after the infield pop-up, Alabama's had a double, a home run, and now a single.
It wasn't really the pitching matchups that I expected coming into this game, but as you said, they are going to play again in Youngsville in Sunday, and I think we'll see the number 1s for both teams throwing then.
Abby Dorr will take a strike. Finally, Megan Shorman able to get the first pitch over for a strike.
Now she can come back with that big change of pace.
Montana Fouts could be that starting pitcher in the circle for Alabama come Sunday. She has been very impressive already this season.
The USA national team selection. And then for the Cajuns, Kendra Lamb, who's pitched very well this year and is a big-time rise ball pitcher, and Alabama loves to swing at those rise balls.
So Shorman ahead in the count here to Abby Dorr from Eugene, Oregon. Abby has not picked up a hit in her last couple of games. That's in the dirt, and the runner quickly advances to second as Shipman is in there on the wild pitch.
Everything going the Tide way right now.
Abby Dorr has been primarily the designated player this season. 7 starts at that spot in the lineup. Shorman looking for her first strikeout. Instead, it's fouled back to the screen. Dorr has struck out 5 times this season. Last year, she played in 26 games, only hit 154. And early on in this season, she's hitting 235 with the home run and 6 RBIs. 2-0 Alabama already in the top of the first. And that one's going to make its way out into right field. And the Tide have runners at first and third and 1 out. Good piece of hitting there by Abby.
Can't really see here if the Cajuns have anybody in the bullpen. But you'll see she tries to come inside and just turns on that pitch. And as I said, everything Bama's doing right now is turning into gold.
So minor meeting here in the circle. As Bailey Doling comes up to the plate. She missed much of last year, only appeared in 25 games. 6 home runs, 25 RBIs, ended up tearing her ACL, and you can see she's got that big brace on her left knee. In on the hands, that's a fair ball. No, they called a foul ball as it ended up hitting Shipman, the runner at third.
And for that to be legal, Shipman has to be in foul territory. Let's see what we've got here. Yep, she's in foul territory, and the ball hits her. And
from St. Joseph, Illinois is Doling. Second rate tied up 2-0. And the pitch. That is a beautiful breaking ball in there for a strike.
no question, Shorman's best pitch right now is that changeup.
The 0-2 from Shorman. Just got a piece of it. Cajuns got a different look to their team this season. So they've had 11 players during that opening weekend make their debuts.
A lot of freshmen on this Cajuns team.
Entering the week, pitching staff had only allowed 2 runs. They've arrived. There's a rise ball. It's a swing and a miss, strike 3. That's exactly what Shorman needed.
Absolutely. She needed to get some confidence in that circle again.
So 2 away, and here's Megan Bloodworth. Bloodworth, a freshman. One of 2 freshmen in the lineup tonight. Dallas Goodnight is the other. Bloodworth hitting .353. And she has been able to supply some power from the bottom of the batting order. 3 home runs and 9 RBIs. Has a chance to really come up with a big 2-out hit here with runners at the corners. And Shorman looks like she has settled down here a little bit.
Gaining a little confidence. Once again, beating a dead horse, but working ahead now.
The 0-1 pitch. Check swing, a little pop-up. Shorman fields her position beautifully, and she gets out of the inning, but not before Alabama strikes for 2 on 4 hits, and they leave 2. After a half inning, Alabama 2. Kick goes to catcher. Roman is over at first. Langlier's the shortstop, batting 5th. Designated player is Laney Crater. Campbell batting 7th, Hayden 8th, and then batting 9th is Ushte. Let's take a look at Alabama's defense. It'll be Johnson over in left. Goodnight will be in center field. Grill is over in right field. Prang is the third baseman. Dowling is the shortstop. Bloodworth at second. Towles at first. The catcher is Shipman. And in the circle for Alabama, it's Lexi Kilfoyle, a junior who is making her third start.
Kilfoyle with the big-time drop ball. But what's a killer is that changeup she has. She'll throw that off-speed drop ball, and it is devastating. She'll throw in the 63 to 67 mile-an-hour range.
SEC Freshman of the Week and Newcomer of the Week a couple times last year. Made the All-SEC Newcomer team. Through 5 shutout innings with just 2 hits allowed and a win over 9th-ranked Arizona earlier this season, and then also threw a complete game shutout against 8th-ranked Virginia Tech, where she struck out 7 in that contest.
6 freshmen on this Cajuns team.
First pitch is just outside to one of those freshmen.
But Jeff, how cool would it be if Dallas Goodnight was the pitcher? Goodnight.
Yeah, I like
how
that.
How cool would that be?
Especially if she was like a closer,
yeah.
right? Came
Good
in,
night.
got the last 3 outs. Good night. Kotzolnik has been on fire to begin the season and fouls one back to the screen. This is her 6th game, and she's hitting .571. That's the way you want to start it off if you're a freshman, and she's got 3 triples. Her and Taylor Roman each have hit 3 triples so far early on in this season. Has a walk, has struck out once so far this season. Here's the pitch, and that one just misses down low. 1-1.
And Stormy is a transfer from the University of Washington. Powerful hitter, so she does have 4 years of eligibility left, COVID year. Coach Glasgow says she has a strong arm and quick feet.
Kilfoyle's pitch is up high. Did she check her swing? Yes, she did.
That was that changeup I was talking about, although that one was a floater. Usually that ball just drops off the table.
Kilfoyle has walked 2 hitters this season. Opposing batters are hitting .261 against him. She won 13 games a year ago for 1.62 ERA, 131 strikeouts, but battled some injuries throughout the season. The 3-1 is slap foul. Full count now. Cajuns, back-to-back Sun Belt champs. Started out the year by sweeping a doubleheader from UAB as that pitch is just up high. And they've beaten North Texas, Texas Southern, Tulsa, Nichols, and tonight they get 2nd-ranked Alabama. For the Cajuns, their head coach, Jerry Glasgow, in his 5th season, doesn't really know what kind of team he has this season, Coach Gerard. And
as I talked about, 6 freshmen in the lineup. They didn't really play fall ball because he had so many new faces. They've had an 8-day break. The competition wasn't fantastic to begin with early, but I think, and he thinks, he's got a really good club here.
This is going to be a tough play for Doling to get to Speedy O'Neal, and she does. Just hit off the bat of Raina O'Neal. Good to see her back out on the field after missing most of last year. Kotzolnik moves into scoring position.
Huge loss for the Cajuns. They had a ton of injuries to significant ball players.
Sophie Piscos comes up to the plate. She's the only Raging Cajun that has had a hit in all 6 games this season.
A little spitfire for the Cajuns, so some emotion behind the plate. Emotional leader for them, and as you said, has got on base safely in every game this year.
Strike call on the outside corner. Out of Paris, Texas, 5'4", sophomore, 8 of 16 at the plate, a couple home runs and 4 RBIs on the season for Piscos, batting in the 3rd spot. Takes one down low, 1-1, and the Cajuns have had a good eye through these first 6 games. They've actually drawn more walks than they have struck out, 16 walks to 11 strikeouts. .453 batting average coming into today's game, and Cajuns have outscored their opponents 56-2 in on her hands as she got a piece of it.
Cajuns will need a good eye here, because if they start to chase Kilfoyle's drop ball that's in the dirt, they'll be swinging at balls.
Piscos really got it going from April 20th onward last season, where she hit .429 and off to a fast start this season. As a 1-2 count with a runner at second, Cajuns down by 2 in the 1st inning. Just missed down low, 2-2.
Good job by Stormy. By Piscos. Sophie. Knew it was an S.
Stormy's at second.
Yes, she is.
Big crowd on hand at Yvette Gerard Field. Not many empty seats at all.
Well, if you want to watch good collegiate softball, you should be here tonight.
2 balls and 2 strikes way outside, and it's 3-2.
Both pitchers having a little bit of trouble locating the zone tonight, falling behind.
Big 3-ball, 2-strike pitch coming up. Taylor Roman is in the on-deck circle, and she hits a little pop-up that will be easily played by the shortstop, Doling, and there's now 2 away.
Good jam job by Kilfoyle there on that last pitch. Comes in on her hands. Can't get extended, and it's a weak pop-up.
Well, Taylor Roman, another freshman for the Cajuns, hitting .462. 6 hits and 13 at-bats. She also has 3 triples, just like Stormy does, and she's driven in 8. Will need to come up with a big 2-out hit, and the Cajuns have been able to do that so far this season. And she hits a little pop-up in foul territory that will end up going into the screen. Louisiana has produced 24 2-out RBIs in its first 5-game march through that opening weekend. That's pretty good.
I'd call that prime time hitting.
That's exactly what you want to see.
That and RBI situations. Here's a huge chance for the Cajuns to answer and get at least 1 back.
Pat Murphy in his 24th season.
Not sure what he's questioning now. Something with the lineup card.
So gives Jerry Glasgow a chance to say a few words to Taylor Roman. The infield huddles up in the circle.
Of course, Roman comes from a long line of athletes. Her dad played football at LSU, played for the Bengals, the Packers, the 49ers, and her mother ran track at LSU.
The pitch is down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cajuns came into the season ranked in all the 4 major national polls. As high as 19, they're high as 15 right now in one of the polls. Alabama #2 after making it to the semifinals last year. And in the Women's College World Series. The 1-1 sails just outside, and it's 2-1.
Tried that changeup, and as you said, was outside. Cajuns are showing some discipline, though. They're not chasing bad pitches.
Alabama returning 11 players from that team that reached the semifinals.
Return their circle, which is more important.
Montana Fouts, and then of course Kaylee Tao, who Tao has the big hit in this one so far. In on her hands, be a squibber to the second baseman Bloodworth, who throws it to Tao, and that ends the threat for the Cajuns. No runs, no hits, no errors. They leave one after 1 inning of play. Another Hall of Famer, Patrick Murphy, the head coach at Alabama, who will be heading into the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame as part of its class of 2022. It's the first for the sport of softball. 26th season for Murphy at Alabama. 24th as the head coach, and he'll be inducted into the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame on May 7th.
Been with Alabama since the start of the program.
And of course got his coaching start here in Lafayette.
Right on this field. Got a national championship under his belt, and I think he believes before Montana Fouts is finished, which he has 2 more years, that he thinks he can get another one.
Lexi Kilfoyle leading it off here for the Crimson Tide, up 2-0. And this is what we saw in the start of the first inning. Shorman get behind the hitters.
And again, I'll say it one more time. If the curveball is your best pitch, if you fall behind 2-0, it's tough to throw a good curveball.
And this is going to be a base hit through the left side.
And I think you saw it there. She has to come in too much over the plate, especially, I don't think her curveball really spins. It moves, but it doesn't really spin. And everything Alabama is hitting right now has eyes. Finding every hole.
They'll have a courtesy runner as McKay Gidley will pinch run or courtesy run for Kilfoyle. And here's Dallas Goodnight, the center fielder, who has already made it to Yvette Gerard's all-name team.
She needs to be the pitcher.
Coming off a 2-hit performance against Middle Tennessee last time out. And she's hitting .435 from the number 9 spot. Puts the bunt down, but she fouled it off.
Little old school softball from Patrick Murphy. Going to bunt the runner over to second with a 2-zip lead. You know, that's the way the game had to be played years ago. There wasn't a lot of hitting going on. That's why slapping came into being. Of course, the mound was closer, the bats were dead, the balls were dead. So you were just trying to manufacture runs. Not anymore. This game has changed a lot.
So much more of an offensive game, and this one is slapped to the shortstop. They get one out there. Langwares over to Kotzelnick. So they get the lead runner as the pitch courtesy runner has been retired, and Goodnight is now over at first.
Pitched perfectly and played perfectly. You get the lead runner here, which is what the Cajuns want.
Back to the top of the order, and Jenna Johnson.
And Justin Robichaux is going to go out there and talk to his pitcher.
And how about the job that Justin Robichaux has done in his first season as the pitching coach for the softball team? Of course, the son of the late, great, and soon to be into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, Tony Robichaux.
I tell you, if you listen to him, he sounds just like his dad.
And we're going to have a pitching change in the circle. The Shorman's day is done after 9 batters. We'll tell you about the new Louisiana pitcher when we come back with the Crimson Tide up 2-0 over Louisiana.
A changeup that she's going to throw in there at about 51. She is a big-time rise ball pitcher, and Bama is susceptible to that rise ball. They love to swing at that pitch.
So Jenna Johnson, after popping up her first time, takes strike 1, and that was something that Shorman was not able to do in her brief outing, was get ahead into hitters, but she's able to do that to the leadoff hitter for Alabama and the left fielder.
And I'm pretty sure that's why she got the hook. Couldn't, you know, work ahead. Got herself in a little bit of trouble.
The 0-1 from Lamb, who's from Australia. That pitch is inside. The runner takes off, and it's easily stolen there by Goodnight. Some major speed there, Coach.
But we got a runner leaving early, so she's out.
So that's why she got down there so fast.
I was about to say, Piskus got rid of that ball about as good as you can get rid of it, and wasn't even close.
So that makes things a little bit easier for Lamb and the Cajuns. Now 2 outs, nobody on, as they go after Jenna Johnson. Lamb 2-0 on the young season. 10 innings pitched, has not allowed a run, and has only allowed 4 hits. She's walked 2, and she has struck out 18 as that one is down and in. A terrific season last year, Coach. 17-5 with an ERA of 2.02.
They're working on a drop ball for her, which is a new look and something that can change the vision of the hitters. You know, if it's all up, you want to change that vision.
1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch to Johnson. That was up, and it's hit a mile, but way foul. Lamb last pitched on February 13th, so she should be well rested. That's 11, 12 days ago.
Best thing about that rise ball, it's a big K pitch, but worst thing about that rise ball is if it's doesn't break, it's going over there in those bleachers out there behind the outfield fence.
The 1-2, and that one is hit deep out into left field, and that one is caught right at the wall. Hayden able to track it down for the final out of the inning. So Jenna Johnson gave it a ride, but just didn't have enough. Needed 1 more biscuit for breakfast. Alabama leading it 2-0 as we go in the bottom of the second.
Your time or someone else's? Is it going to be your time or someone else's? It's time to decide.
The thing about success is it starts to feel inevitable. Until out of the shadows, a worthy challenger comes along, shuts it all down, turning blue blood into new blood.
The Tournament, Part 7 and 8, Monday at 9 on ACC Network.
Back at Lamson Park, looked like Jenna Johnson got all of that one. But in the end, chasing it down, it's Maddie Hayden right at the wall for the final out in the second. And it keeps Alabama's lead at 2.
Hayden might have stole a home run there. If not a home run, I think it was going to hit the fence. Either stay in or bounce right over.
So the Cajuns now will send Langeliers, Crater, and Jordan Campbell to the plate to face Lexi Kilfoy. Langeliers hitting .529, and she has supplied some power. 3 home runs on the season.
She's been very impressive.
Swing and got maybe a touch of that one from Keller, Texas.
Coach Glasso considers her one of the most feared hitters in the nation. Her brother was drafted by the Atlanta Braves.
How about that? So obviously,
maybe when they talk about him on the air, they'll say his sister plays for the Raging Cajuns in Louisiana.
Actually born in Portland, Oregon. Yeah, her brother Shay Langeliers Selected 9th overall by the Braves in the 2019 Major League Baseball draft. Her brother played at Baylor. Mishandled there by Doling to throw to first, and they still got her.
Good job of coming back from that. That ball kind of hopped up and got her in the chest. Looks like it took a little bit of a bad hop on her. Yep, just kind of, she kept it in front, didn't panic, had enough arm to throw her out.
Designated player Lainey Crater comes to the plate, another freshman for the Cajuns.
And really, ground ball outs is what you should see against Kilfoyle with that big-time drop ball that she throws.
First pitch to Crater is outside. Crater out of Old Mines, Missouri. Also a volleyball and basketball player at her high school, which was Kingston K-14 school in the St. Louis area. She can hit some home runs. Has one already on the season.
For our listening audience out there, Crater is definitely a Cajun name, as you said. Born in Missouri, but has grandparents in Carencro.
Yep. And she's ahead of the count here, 3-0. Cajun's only base runner was the leadoff hitter. Katzolnik reached on bases on balls, and Crater trying to get a one-out walk here, or at least try to get on base with the Cajuns down 2-0 in the second. There's a strike. 2-1.
And Laney's probably thinking, ooh, I wish I'd have had the go signal on that one, because that was the pitch to hit. But 3-0 count.
Now the pitch to Crater, and she fouls it back.
Kilfoyle working her way back.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Crater trying to get on some way. She's walked 5 times already this season and make it 6.
Kilfoyle doesn't, she's not in control of that changeup tonight. I've seen it be just deadly and just floating on her.
Well, what kind of adjustment does she possibly need to make to get that changeup under control?
One, it looks like it's stuck in her hand. 2, she needs to believe in the pitch. Maybe she doesn't believe in it right now. And a changeup, you got to just throw your guts out. It's got to look like everything else that you throw.
Jordan Campbell now will come up to the plate. And we'll have a courtesy runner for Crater. Kayla Falterman will come into the game. While Jordan Campbell will step in to the batter's box. Campbell, really good athlete. Transfer from Texas A&M. Hitting .333 on the season with a home run and 5 RBIs. Campbell from Kingwood, Texas. Was a shortstop in high school, playing third base here. Started all 26 games as a freshman for Texas A&M in 2020 before COVID shut the season down. She really was hitting the ball well. Hit .329 that year, but only started 15 games the following season and then transferred to Louisiana. This could be 2. They get the out at second, over to first, and just beating it out is Campbell.
She runs well, otherwise that's a double play ball. I was wondering if Jerry Glasgow was going to start his Rabbits because, gosh, he likes to steal bases.
Maddie Hayden will come up to the plate, the left fielder. Hayden off to a terrific start. 11 plate appearances, 5 hits, and she has scored 5 runs, and she's driven in 5 runs. And she's got some speed as well with 4 stolen bases if she can get on. She'll hit from the left side.
Great young ball player, of course. She's following in her sister's steps.
Fouls it off to the left side.
Her sister Holly had scored more runs than any Cajun in program history.
West Monroe, Louisiana.
As we say, it's a very young team that Jerry Glasgow has put on the field. 6 freshmen in the lineup.
That one misses outside.
Well, that's when you were talking about he doesn't really know what kind of team he has. And, you know, you really never know as a coach until the lights are turned on what's going to happen. Might look fantastic in practice, but it's time to do it. Sometimes it's a different situation.
Poncho's coming on here as rain falling. That's one hit right back up the middle, and a diving stab, unable to make the play was Goodnight, and getting the second, safe, just barely, was Maddie Hayden.
Cajuns got something brewing here now with 1 out. Boy, was that a bang-bang play or what?
Certainly was.
Goodnight almost came up with the play of the night. Just a little short on that dive. And the Cajuns were off to the races.
Thought Goodnight was going to come up with that.
I thought she had it too for a second.
And then good hustling there by Hayden. I mentioned it, she's got great speed with 4 stolen bases on the season and needed to make something happen there.
Cajuns have 20 of 22 stolen bases on this young season. And we said, haven't played in 8 days and they already have 20 stolen bases.
And Coach Glasgow is going to go to his bench here. Carly Heath will get a pinch hitting opportunity. Heath, the junior, transfer from South Carolina, swings at the first pitch, but it's a little tamper and easy play for Tao, and that ends the Cajuns' threat. No runs, a hit, big drops that have fallen, but nothing too serious. Is one of the best environments for college softball in all the country, right here at Lamson Park, Yvette Gerard Field. Jeff Palermo along with Hall of Fame coach Yvette Gerard.
Look, they got their own cheerleaders. They'll do a dance in about the 5th inning, a Cajun 2-step. They've got some seats if you still want to come out and right center field, but this place is almost packed.
Kendra Lamb is still in the circle, came in relief of Shorman, who pitched to 9 batters. And now Lamb will face the heart of this Alabama order. It's Prang, Tao, and Shipman.
Flirted with danger in the last inning, but nice play by Hayden. Hayden having quite the night. Saves a home run and had a great base hit there.
Prang had her second double of the season. She got on right before Kaylee Tao blasted a home run over the right field wall, and that's how Alabama has its 2-0 lead as we're in the 3rd inning. So the numbers on Shorman, 1 1/3 of an inning, 5 hits, a couple runs. They were both earned. No walks and a strikeout. Her ERA now goes up to 1.14 as Lamb pours that one in there for a strike. Lamb has yet to give up an earned run this season. This is her 3rd outing of the year.
She's an Australian native. Really has bought in Coach Justin Robichaux.
Nearly got hit the batter there, and Prang, who had to move out of the way.
Trying to come inside twice with that screwball and hadn't quite worked.
Prang's a transfer from Ohio State. It's on the All Big Ten freshman team in 2019. 3-1 pitch from Lamb. Just a little bit high, and Prang draws the walk. Her 4th of the season. And this Alabama team, very patient at the plate when you take a look at all the walks that they have already on the season. It's an impressive number for them, as they have walked 34 times in 9 games coming into this contest, and they've struck out 42, and then they've been hit by pitch 10 times. Kaylee Tao takes one inside.
Big key to the game, swing at good pitches, swing at strikes.
Kaylee Tao lofted a home run over the right field wall. Her 1st of the season. Taking advantage of the extra year of eligibility is Kaylee from Madisonville, Kentucky. That one's way outside, as Cajun pitchers having trouble throwing strikes and getting ahead of these dangerous Alabama hitters.
I wonder if it's a little nerves or maybe a little rustiness. As we said, they haven't played in 8 days. Big matchup, big opportunity for the Cajuns here. And they get another one again Sunday against the same Crimson Tide team.
This one in on her hands, foul territory, and oh, that is unfortunate, as Campbell stumbled over the bag. Hopefully she's okay. And she's going to limp around a little bit. I think she is, but from my vantage point, Coach, I think she had a chance to catch this one.
She did. She did. I was looking for the catch, and then the next thing I saw was she fell. You know, you don't see, ooh, wow, you don't see that too often.
No. So make sure she is okay over there at third base.
She kind of tripped on the bag and then kicked herself.
Plus that bag a little bit wet from this light rainfall that is falling right now.
Now they're laughing a little bit because they're saying, how embarrassed are you right now? Ragging her a little bit. But you know, that's one of those situations where you sure would like to have had that pop-up.
Oh, yeah.
Because the next pitch could be over the fence. And as you said, she had a chance.
Rain picking up now in intensity. And some fans are starting to make their way for cover here. And it's coming down really good now. Hopefully this is just one of those little brief summer showers. Lamb will throw it, swing and a miss, and that was big. 3 balls and 2 strikes now.
Didn't think the big stuff was supposed to get here till about 8 or 9.
Well, you know Louisiana, Coach.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's 80 degrees, and it's supposed to be freezing by this weekend.
Here's the 3-2. Missed outside, ball 4. So runners at first and second now. Back-to-back walks, and you're really playing with fire if you're going to do that against this Alabama team.
Plus, it's just going to get a little harder for her to pitch now.
And the rain picking up again.
I'm sure somebody's looking at the radar screen and trying to figure out when they're going to put this tarp on and if and when. Don't want to lose the field. Of course, the entire field except the dirt is AstroTurf.
Allie Shipman, 3 home runs on the season, has 2 runners on base, nobody out. Alabama has an opportunity to bust this thing open here in the 3rd inning. Prang and Tao have each walked. And somebody turned the faucet down a little bit, and the rain eases up a little. And Shipman takes a strike.
And I see people in the stands taking out the weather app.
Shipment from Valencia, California, transfer from Tennessee.
Two sisters that played at Tennessee. Of course, her sister had a big time career there at Tennessee.
And then she gets hit.
Yeah.
Bases are now loaded, and this is not good for the Cajuns. Bring up Abby Dorr. Abby Dorr was a part-time player last year, making 13 starts, but did hit a big pinch hit 2-run homer in the Women's College World Series last year against Arizona. And this season, Dorr is homered, but the average not there at the moment. The one, if you want to talk about a bright spot potentially here for Lamb, is that the next two hitters are not hitting for very high averages, Dorr or Doling. Dorr singled her first time up, so she's got that average now a little bit closer to 250. But behind her is Bailey Doling, who's only hitting 190 on the season.
She's coming back from an injury, and she is a very good player, so maybe she's just having a slow start.
Dorr now hitting 278 after that base hit. Takes a strike on the outer half. 5 hits and 18 at-bats for Dorr. The 0-1 from Lamb, and she's ahead in the count, 0-2.
And the rain has slacked, so that definitely is in Lamb's favor.
The 0-2 pitch.
Really trying to get her to fish going upstairs. Not a usable pitch, though. And it's that far out of the zone. It's really a waste pitch.
One ball, 2 strikes. Up and in on Dorr, 2-2. Dorr started 17 games as a catcher during the pandemic shortened season. Played in 26 games last year. Ended up tweaking her knee in preseason practice, so she's been relegated to designated player. Hits one down the first base line, and that is just foul.
Just foul.
And that might have cleared the bases if it was fair.
And it, right before the bag, it goes foul.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rain starting to pick up a little bit more again as it comes and goes. Lamb could use a strikeout. And her 2-2. Right back to the screen.
So we're hanging in there. Long inning right now for the Cajuns out there.
Two as Lamb gets back on top of the rubber. She rocks and fires, and it's ball 3. Great job. Great at bat by Dorr to force a full count after falling behind. 0-2.
Huge inning right here. Bama can bust it open, or the Cajuns can avoid complete disaster.
3-2, and just missed that outside corner, ball 4. Third walk of the inning and a hit batsman, and it equals a run for the Crimson Tide, and still nobody out in the third as they lead it 3-0.
Fans don't like it, but it's a ball. Pisco's holding it tight there, trying to get that call, but Justin Robichaux going out to talk to his pitcher.
That is the third time Dorr has walked this season. That's the 7th RBI. And Shorman has come back to the circle, so we may see her once again, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen as Lamb will exit, having trouble finding the strike zone in this third inning. Second-ranked Alabama now leading the third. They've drawn 3 walks and a hit batsman. So Megan Shorman is back out in the circle, and Shorman now will face Bailey Dowling, who fouls the first pitch off.
And control is the name of the game here.
Kendra Lamb, who had only walked 2 hitters coming into the night, walked 3 in that inning, plus the hit batsman. And Shorman, when we saw her in the first inning plus, she had trouble trying to find the strike zone, falling behind hitters. So she's already thrown an inning in the third and has thrown 30 pitches before re-entering the contest. I would imagine, Yvette, that she was told she may go back in the game. Keep your focus in on the contest.
No question.
The 0-1. Good off-speed pitch in there for a strike. How difficult is this to start a game, then sit for a while, and then get thrown into a situation with the bases loaded down by 3?
It certainly isn't the easiest, you know. In our game, pitchers want to stay the whole 7 innings, and usually they do.
Dolan.
But kudos to Sherman. She's come back and thrown strikes now.
Line drive, and it's caught by Campbell. They get 1 out, and that's it. But better to be lucky than good, right?
Hey.
Right at Campbell.
After tripping on the base that doesn't move, look at this play she makes.
And thankfully for Louisiana, that ball was hit right at Campbell. Hit 2 feet to the left or the right, and that's in the outfield, and at least 1 run, if not 2 runs, are scoring. Still more work to do here for Shorman. And a pop-up, foul territory and out of play as Megan Bloodworth comes back into the game.
Shorman looks like a different pitcher.
She does, a little more aggressive. Maybe watching the game from the dugout helped settle her down a little bit.
Breathe a little bit,
yes.
You know.
So much anticipation for this game. You had that long layoff too, Coach. Probably would have loved to play a game on Tuesday. That way you didn't have 9. Oh, did they hit her? Yep, they did in the left arm, and that's going to bring in another run.
It's amazing, you know. You don't see this in the scorebook, but you can't hit the ball any better than that rocket at third. But they're going to score on a hit batter.
That nicked off the arm of Bloodworth. Bloodworth now has 10 RBIs on the season, as she was just hit for the 3rd time. Lexi Kilfoyle with her team up.
She can help herself. Of course, she's the starting pitcher.
And she hits one out in the right center field, and that's going to split the outfielders. 1 run scores, 2 runs score, and that will be it as Kilfoyle hits a double out in the right center field. Her first double of the season. RBIs number 2 and 3, and Alabama now leads it 6-0.
Kilfoyle definitely helped herself there.
And this big crowd that has been into it from the start now a little bit more quiet as the deficit grows to 6.
Yeah, the Cajuns were hanging in there when it was 2-zip, and they looked like they had a chance to score, and it's really been a Bama night here.
Dallas Goodnight with 2 runners in scoring position as she swings at the first pitch. Goodnight reached on a fielder's choice. in the second inning. She's the eighth hitter to come up to the plate.
As I said, a long inning for the Cajuns.
Lamb charged with 4 runs, 3 walks, a hit batsman. That one just misses high. Goodnight takes one up high, and it's now 2-1. Cajuns had done such a great job throwing strikes in their first few games, but this Alabama team, they're not going to come up there swinging at anything. They're going to make sure they find their pitch. Big cut there from Goodnight, unable to make contact. Alabama already has wins over nationally ranked Arizona and Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech were 2 great ball games.
Yeah, 1-0 and 2-0 were the final scores in that one.
Virginia Tech, a game away from the College World Series last year, returned. You know, their circle did a fantastic job last weekend in Alabama. 2 good games.
Up high, and there's another walk.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The Cajuns have really struggled from the first pitch on in the circle.
4th walk of the inning, plus 2 hit batters, and back in Lafayette, Jeff Palermo along with Yvette Girard. We're the 2nd-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. They've been very patient at the plate, and it's paid off. They lead at 6-0 in the 3rd. Carly Heath will give it her best shot. She enters the ball game with the bases loaded and 1 out. Chopper, and that's over the head of Campbell. That scores another run.
Again, you know, Alabama's doing a lot of things right. They're also having a lot of things go their way. That ball just bounces over third baseman's head. Carly, I think that was a good move, pulling those 2 pitchers for the Cajuns, because no doubt they're going to show them again on Sunday. Coach Robichaux has a lot to say about Carly Heath. He thinks she's the most developed arm from last year. Key word here. The ability to command the strike zone is the key, which the Cajuns have had a little trouble tonight doing.
This is only the 2nd appearance of the season for Heath. As that was Jenna Johnson, by the way, who had delivered that RBI single. Johnson, her 3rd RBI of the year. Ashley Prang, the 10th hitter of the lineup. She has walked and doubled in this game and scored. 7-0 Alabama on 7 hits. Right to the first baseman. Kotzelnik will step on the bag. That's the only out they'll get. They'll give up the run as the courtesy runner for Alabama comes in to score.
But once again, Alabama does the right thing. They hit the ball to the right side to score the run. Doing a lot of things correctly.
Goodnight moves the 3rd. Johnson to 2nd. There's now 2 outs, and you start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. If you're Louisiana, you can finally get out of this nightmarish inning, but they've given up 6 runs. Kaylee Tao delivered the first 2 runs for Alabama, a 2-run shot back in the 1st. Her first home run of the season.
And remember, there is a run rule in this game. It's 8 after 5.
Tao has scored twice. She walked and scored earlier this inning as she takes one up and in, and here we go again, falling behind these good Alabama hitters. Heath from North Augusta, South Carolina. Was a Gamecock in 2019 and 2020. There's a strike on the outside corner. has primarily been an outfield. She's pitched a little bit. She was 13-0 in her 2 seasons at South Carolina. Pop foul out of play. Heath, but a good hitter as well. Go back to that Baton Rouge Regional. Last May had the walk-off RBI double to beat George Washington in 11 innings. Hit a 2-run homer in an elimination game against McNeese. So for her college career, she's 14-0 as far as her. Well, that one sails all the way to the backstop. Play at the plate. Collision safe. Ooh. Diving in there and getting in safely was Goodnight. As Piscos got a good carom off the wall, but Goodnight just too fast.
What an effort though by Piscos, and that didn't look good. Looked like an injury waiting to happen at the face. Especially
for Goodnight, because at least Piscos has got the catcher's mask on and other protection.
I don't see what kind of face mask. Well, yeah, she does have one.
And she
doesn't have that guard there. She's got a catcher's mask grill in her grill.
That makes it 9-0. Tao still batting, full count. Just one runner on, and that's Jenna Johnson.
Remember, Tao is a 3-time All-American.
And she fouls one off the left side, just staying alive.
You know, Jeff, Alabama's the only team to participate in every super regional round since inception.
Wow, how about that stat?
I mean, we didn't always have super regionals. It was regionals with 6 teams, but to be in every single one.
Langeliers will throw to first, and that finally ends the inning. But not before the Crimson Tide put a 7 spot on the board.
Behind.
Right.
And as you said, they did, that inning just took forever. The Cajuns had to pitch in the rain as Alabama poured it on. Excuse the pun.
Yes.
But, you know, that's when you sit in the dugout and say, get out of the rain, so they have to pitch in the rain.
Konselnick will lead it off for the Cajuns. She walked her first time up and was left stranded at second base when that inning ended. Louisiana has just 1 hit. Kilfoyle will throw the first pitch in there for a strike. Kilfoyle had the big hit in that 7-run third. The double to right center scored 2 to help her own cause. Kilfoyle, 2 innings, a hit. She's walked a couple, but nothing's come back to bite her. Good swing and slicing foul. Jerry Glasgow, the head coach of the Raging Cajuns in his 15th season, his 5th season. Most of the players he's recruited now. Last year's team, a lot of 5th and 6th year players. Ended up losing into the Baton Rouge Regional. Now they got 8 freshmen and 12 newcomers, so a lot to figure out. Started off well, going 6-0, outscoring their opponents 56-2 as Konselnick gets a base hit, second hit of the night for the Cajuns.
Leading hitter, leading off this inning with a hit. I want to combine names for my all-name team. Stormy Goodnight.
And it's preferable for tonight. Hopefully it doesn't get too stormy, as we saw some rain earlier. Raina O'Neal, the center fielder, grounded out her first time up as she comes up to the plate.
Cajuns have some great-looking athletes on their team, and one of them is this one right here, Raina O'Neal.
10 for 24 at the plate, takes one low and away.
Again, coming off of a injury that ended her season last year.
And you know, Everyone feels so highly of her despite really missing the entire year last year. She's a preseason all Sun Belt selection, which gives you an idea of.
She's the real deal.
Yep.
Transfer from Texas Tech. There you go.
Right back up the middle for a base hit, and the Cajuns got something brewing in the third with the first two hitters reaching.
Gotta like that from a young team saying, run rule, what's that?
Yeah, keep playing, right?
Yep.
So Sophie Piscos, the returning starter at catcher. We'll see what she does here with her team down 9-0. Piscos 8 of 17 at the plate. And she's already hit 2 home runs.
She is the little spark plug for the team, so see what she does here in an RBI situation.
There's a strike.
There's that nasty changeup.
One of the things Coach Glasgow, we told you, so much turnover from last year's squad. So I don't know if he's really sure what kind of team he has offensively. Is this a power hitting team? But as you mentioned, Coach, there's a lot of good athletes on this squad, so they can
run.
Yeah.
As I said, 20 stolen bases already. And they're gonna run. He doesn't have a stop sign signal in his arsenal.
Called strike, and the fans are wondering where was that call when their pitchers were struggling to find the strike zone. Cajuns in 6 games have hit 10 home runs. They've stolen 20 bases.
Alabama not giving Piscus much respect. Shallow outfield.
Strike 3.
Oh my gosh, did she throw her 3 straight changeups?
That's exactly what she did. As Piscos strikes out for the 2nd time this season.
Never got the bat off her shoulders. Got her fooled 3 straight times because, you know, they're not going to throw me 3 straight changeups.
So that'll bring up Taylor Roman, who won the first Sun Belt Player of the Week award. Opening weekend, she had 3 triples and 8 RBIs.
And here's another athlete that just oozes athleticism.
Came into the contest hitting .462.
Trying to jam her there.
8 RBIs. Her and Langeliers lead the team in RBIs with 8. She's returning from a season-ending injury from a year ago, is Roman. Hits a little tapper. Praying charges in to throw out Roman at first. So 2 away with 2 runners in scoring position now.
I'm amazed that at bat is over with, but Dallas Goodnight is playing so shallow in center field against these big Cajun hitters. So far, it's paid off.
Langeliers will come up to the plate. Once again, the Cajuns have runners in scoring position. They just have not gotten the big hit. They had a runner in scoring position in the first. They had a couple in scoring position in the second, and here 2 more once again with 2 outs, and they'll rely on the shortstop to make something happen here. Hit a couple of home runs against UAB. She got off to a hot start in that opening weekend.
I think she had 2 home runs in 1 game.
Yep. Way up high.
That ball just kind of got stuck in her hand.
We've seen that before from Kilfoyle. Swing and a miss, up and in on Langeliers.
Good looking up pitch, 66 miles an hour. And you're going to come back with that devastating drop ball. And they're just really working on this rise ball, as I said, to try to change the look of the hitter. Hitter's eyes, very hard to go up and down for a pitcher.
2-1. Handled easily by Prang over the first, and that ends the inning. No runs, no hits. Actually, 2 hits, excuse me. No errors and 2 left. And the Cajuns haven't thrown enough strikes, and that's a big reason why they're down by 9. As Alabama has been able to work 4 walks in this game, plus the 2 hit batsmen. A 2-run homer by Tao, that was big in the first inning. And then a 2-run double by Lexi Kilfoyle, who has thrown 3 shutout innings in the circle. And that's why you have a 9-0 lead here for Alabama. Allie Shipman, the catcher.
Huge pickup for Bama.
Oh, big
of course,
time.
They lost an All-American and
Bailey Hemphill.
Right here in Lafayette, Louisiana native, and they needed a catcher, and they picked up a big-time SEC player in Shipman.
Who started 98 games during her 3 years with the Lady Vols, and a career average of .331, 13 home runs, and 75 RBIs. Coach Murphy also believes he's got some good depth behind Shipman. Abby Dorr is one of those players who's the designated player. Here's a roller to the shortstop, actually cut off by Campbell, and a nice scoop by Kotzilnik, and they get out number 1.
Good job by Campbell to cut that ball off.
And here's Abby Dorr. We were just talking about her. Serves as a backup catcher and the designated player, and she's 1 for 1 tonight with a walk and an RBI. There's a strike. So after this game, Coach, we start the Mardi Gras Mambo at the Youngsville Sports Complex in Youngsville, Louisiana.
Very cool tournament, very cool concept. Got 5 Louisiana teams and then 5 teams from around the country. They have a big-time concert on Friday night with a local Cajun talent here, and then Saturday, every team will have their own float with their own throws in the Youngsville parade, and that is a big parade in this area. So how cool is that for them to enjoy the culture of the true Cajuns here in Acadiana?
Alabama will face Nichols, Southeastern Louisiana, Northwestern State, and Louisiana Tech, and then finish it up by playing the Cajuns one more time Sunday at 11 a.m.
Brainchild of Southeastern is actually hosting this tournament. Brainchild of Rick Freeman. He originally had all the Southland Conference teams in it so they can improve their RPI. And then it turned into this with the Louisiana teams all staying on their same fields throughout the whole tournament. Wayne Toops will be entertaining on Friday night, and he's a good one.
And the Youngsville Sports Complex is an impressive facility.
Very impressive.
Cajuns over the next few days, they'll have a doubleheader on Friday. Eastern Illinois and St. Thomas. They'll play Portland State on Saturday and Lipscomb. So you got a parade and then you play 2 games? My goodness, that's a lot of endurance that day, huh?
They'll have a blast in that parade. Have you ever ridden and thrown in a parade?
I have not.
It's fun.
Well, I would imagine so.
Kind of feel like you have a lot of power with those beads.
3-2 pitch coming up to Dorr, and she draws a walk. So Heath issues her first free pass.
You just wonder if, you know, because the Cajuns were so sharp in that opening weekend, if that break didn't hurt them somewhat.
Yeah, it's just very strange. We've kind of talked about it, Coach, that their last game was on February 15th, 10-2 win over Nichols. Also, the other thing is they've run ruled most of their opponents this year. Out of their 6 victories, 4 of them have been run ruled, so they haven't really. Not only have they only just played 6 games, they've only played 2 full games.
You're right. You're right. They hadn't really been challenged. Not taking any credit away from them because You know, they run rule lesser opponents. Yeah. But you're right. When you look at it, they cheated themselves out of some innings. And
yes.
Not that they cheated themselves, but they were
worked against themselves in a way. Dowling fouls one off. That's 0-2 to her. But it's very unusual for a baseball team, a softball team, heck, even a basketball team to have a lengthy break like this.
Eight-day break.
Especially when the season just started. Campbell handles it over at third. They get the
out
there, and they turn two. A double play.
How about that defensive gym?
Campbell to Kotzelnik to Roman as they go around the horn at Lamson Park. Up 9-0 as Lexi Kilfoyle has been able to pitch her way out of some danger in this game, as the Cajuns have left 5 runners on base, so they've had their chances. This have not been able to get those clutch hits, especially those clutch 2-out hits, which they were able to do so well through the first 6 games of the season.
Had a chance in the early innings to get right back in it and just couldn't deliver that RBI.
Lainey Crater, who walked in the second, will come up to the plate. There'll be Crater, Campbell, and Hayden here for the Cajuns. And then if anybody can get on, I believe it will be Heath, who is now the pitcher. I believe, well, we'll see what happens here, how that will work. Maybe Heath is just pitching at the moment. We'll find out here in a second. Kilfoyle's pitch is just down low, 1-0. This is obviously a homecoming for Alabama's coach, Patrick Murphy, where this is where he got his start as a coach. Started out in the sports information department, and then the rest is history, right, Coach?
That's right. He was my sports information, my SID, and look, we play the game. We drop him off at the hotel so he could. Well, no, that's when he became the assistant coach. He became the assistant coach, and he was also the sports information director for us. So we'd drop him off at the hotel after the game so he could send the story, and then we'd bring him his dinner. He had to do a little bit of everything then.
Did he drive the bus, too?
No, he didn't drive the bus. That was probably me.
Was it vans back then?
Vans, yes. Yeah. Always vans. We drove the vans. You're right. Yeah. He drove the other van.
There you go. See?
But, no, we didn't have buses then.
But you had a belief that he could become a good coach. I don't know if you thought he could become a Hall of Fame coach, but you...
I knew he was something special. The more we talked, the more I thought, wow, this guy would be really good. And he had a major in education, and then his master's degree was in communications. Mm-hmm. So I was like, he could communicate with the players. He was an excellent teacher.
Right.
We have stories. There's so many. We had, before this ballpark became a reality, we had the box seats down there with these plastic white chairs, and at the time our fence was like 250 all the way around. Nobody hit a home run. 225 maybe all the way around. And he made imaginary fence with the plastic chairs, and when I got out here, they had early BP. All of the chairs were shattered. I said, what? Now we have to go out and buy new chairs. He said, well, I'm just trying to show you that we need to move these fences in.
A 3-2 pitch to Crater. Hits one out into left center field, and that's going to go all the way to the wall. Crater will round first, head to second, and stands up with a leadoff double.
Cajuns have shown some sparks of life.
Well, you go back to the third inning. The first two hitters reached base there, and now Crater with the leadoff double. And Jordan Campbell will come to the plate. Campbell reached on a fielder's choice her last time up.
6, 7, and 8 can get something going here for the Cajuns.
And that one just catches the outside corner for a strike.
Where it crosses the plate. Cajun fans don't really like that call, but it's where it crosses the plate, not where she catches it.
Kilfoyle, again, has not given up a run this season in 15 2/3 innings. Swing and a miss as she blew that one past Campbell. The other thing about Patrick Murphy was, while he was a sports information director here, he was coaching back up in Iowa in the offseason, because Iowa, one of the few states that actually has their softball and baseball seasons during the summer on the prep level. They don't do it in the spring.
Every summer he raced back home to coach his high school baseball team. And you know, I'm sure I assume you watched the game this summer. That was in.
Yes.
He was there.
Oh,
he
really?
texted me, showed me a picture, and he said, "I'm here."
Wow, how about that at the Field
Not
of
very
Dreams
far.
game?
I visited his hometown,
Dyersville,
and,
Iowa.
He brought me to the Field of Dreams. It was awesome, but there was no question in my mind he'd probably be at that game.
High fly ball. Goodnight gets underneath it, and there's out number one.
So yeah, they played their high school baseball and softball in the summer. I went out in the summer to recruit their summer state tournament, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was in a small town. I can't remember the name, but it was in the middle of cornfields, and it was like the entire town was there.
Yeah.
People had their lawn chairs and were watching the games because, you know, it was fencing where you could see through it.
I know South Louisiana has its humidity, but try some humidity around a bunch of cornfields. They'll get to you, too, on a warm summer night in the Midwest. Maddie Hayden trying to get something going here for the Cajuns. She doubled her first time up. Just a little bit of a rainfall here, but nothing too significant. Been raining for much of the game. Right back up the middle, and that will trickle out in the center field. Crater around third, and she is safe. Somehow beat the throw there from Goodnight. That was a bang-bang play.
That's a very close play at the plate. I thought maybe they had her because her leg was up. I don't know if we can see it again, but the Cajuns get on the scoreboard, and you can see that the rain is coming down now. Let's see this play at the plate. Great throw home. Wow, you can't put the tag any better, though. It's on her foot. Doesn't matter. Cajuns get on the board. You know, you drill that in a player's head. You got to put the tag on the foot, not on the knee, not up the leg.
Let's see if the Cajuns can keep this going now, as Hayden made it all the way to second.
Great throw by Goodnight, but then once again, having those outfielders play so shallow gives them the opportunity for a chance to throw runners out at home.
Kramer Ushte re-entering the game and takes a strike. Ushte, this is her first at bat. She started the night in right field. If you remember, Heath came in to pinch hit for her. She's now in the circle. That just missed off the outside corner, and it's 1-1. one misses low and away, and it's 2-1.
Cajuns do have 5 hits. They just haven't had enough timely ones. Alabama only has 7 hits. The tail of the tape is in RBI situations.
Coming into this inning, the Cajuns had left 5 runners on base. Ushte takes one inside. And now it's the Cajun hitters being very patient at the plate. And it's Kilfoyle who's having trouble trying to find the strike zone.
Again, she's having to throw in the rain a little bit. Looks like maybe it slowed up again.
That one just missed up high, ball 4. So runners at first and second, 1 out. Top of the order coming up for Louisiana.
Bottom of the lineup has done a good job for the Cajuns. Time for the top to earn their pay, earn their scholarship.
To 1 to score. Cajuns looking to make something big happen here. They'd love to get a crooked number on that scoreboard. We have competing meetings going on. Jerry Glasgow talking with his squad. Cajun batters have now forced 3 walks in this game, as Kilfoyle has given up her first run of the season. Katzenelnik has reached base twice with the single and the walk. And the pitch, that's just a bit high, 1-0. Hard to really tell from our advantage point if anybody's warming up in the Alabama bullpen or not.
Cajun fans are doing their part, trying to get those cheers together.
This one is lifted out into center field. Goodnight has to come in, and he makes the grab in front of Johnson, who was also charging that one, and there's 2 down.
I don't know if she misjudged that ball or looked like it was far more of an adventure than it needed to be.
Despite all the rain tonight, we really haven't had much wind.
No, that flag is
straight down. Raina O'Neal, who is 1 for 2, will step in. Cajuns got 1, but they want more as we're in the bottom of the 4th. O'Neal's 1 for 2, and the pitch to her, right to the second baseman. Bloodworth will flip it over to first, and that ends the inning. Cajuns do get a run on a couple hits, and they leave 2. We played 4 from Lamson Park at Yvette Gerard Field. And it's 9-1 Alabama, Beth Tarina and the Fighting Tigers of LSU. So they're going to get really accustomed to Louisiana here over the next 3 or 4 weeks. But always a tough schedule Alabama plays. Already have faced a couple of ranked teams in Virginia Tech and Arizona. Got 2 home games coming up against Texas as you take a look at Coach Pat Murphy. We'll be facing Florida State in a midweek game later on this season.
Texas is coming here also.
Yep. For the Cajuns, they got several games against ranked opponents this season here in this ballpark. LSU will be here in a couple of weeks on a Wednesday night. Or actually, they're going to LSU. And then on Thursday, They're going to host LSU on March 3rd and then go to LSU on March 5th.
You call that the I-10 challenge.
So they'll play the Tigers twice. And we got our fourth pitcher of the night for the Cajuns, Vanessa Foreman. Now in the circle.
Foreman, the only lefty on the team. 60-61, she's got a drop curve. It's gonna be completely different look than anybody else that's thrown here tonight for the Cajuns.
And she'll face the bottom three of this Alabama order, Megan Bloodworth. Smacks one down the left field line, but hooking foul and out of play.
And if you throw 60-61, her ball absolutely needs to move.
Megan Shorman started for the Cajuns and then came in relief. She ends up going an inning and 2/3. Her night is officially done. Gave up 5 runs over 6 hits. There's the strike.
Her ball on the outside corner, and she's a transfer from Arizona.
Kendra Lamb went 2/3 of an inning. Gave up 4 runs as she had trouble finding the strike zone. Walked 3 and hit a bat. And we also saw Carly Heath, who had the most success here tonight. Inning and 2/3 and did not allow a run. Pop up, second baseman. Zanelli makes the play and 1 down. Kilfoyle will bat. Big 2-run double and a huge 7-run third for Alabama.
See the movement on that curveball. Backdoor curve, that ball started way out of the zone and came in for a strike.
Kilfoyle, a career 185 hitter, has 2 home runs in her career from the plate and hits a tapper in front of the plate. Handled very well by the catcher Piscos. Quickly 2 down in this 5th inning.
Cat quick behind that plate as she almost made that play on that wild pitch.
Cajuns down 9-1. They probably would love to have that. Well, not probably. They would love to have that 7-run third inning back. Alabama's going to send a pinch hitter to the plate. It's Goodnight. Gets pinch hit for. And Jenna Lord from Trussville, Alabama, has grabbed the bat. And she'll take some hacks here with 2 outs. Takes one low and away, 1-0. She only has 4 at-bats on the season. Has a couple hits. One ball, no strikes. Foreman trying to work a 1-2-3 inning as she misses down low.
And she did come in and throw strikes so far. She's behind on this batter, but so far she's done her job.
2-0 pitch and an off-speed pitch way ahead of it was Lord, and it's now 2-1.
You can see that pitch in the gun. That ball was so slow, she threw it at 2 miles an hour. That's what the gun said.
It was a little faster than that. Lord misses outside, and it's 3-1. Foreman, her 3rd appearance of the season. 2 innings, a couple hits, a run, and an earned run against her so far this year. The 3-1 to Lord. Gave her something she can hit. She fouls it off. Cajuns will need to score a run in the next half inning or this thing is over. And UL will have the middle of their order up, Piscos, Roman, and Langeliers, to try to keep this thing going. This big crowd at Lamson Park, who has been very vocal and into this contest, despite their team being down by 8, wouldn't mind sticking around the park for a little longer tonight.
No, they wouldn't, and there's more fans here than you would expect it with what the score is and the rain and everything else, but the majority have still stayed.
That is the 6th walk issued by Cajun pitching tonight. As Lord reaches, Jenna Johnson will come back up to the plate for Alabama. Johnson is 1 for 3 with an RBI. Singled her last time up. Foreman goes back to work. One hopper to Campbell, easy play to first, and that ends the inning. No runs, no hits, no at Stephen F. Austin, and then they will be able to visit LSU and then get a chance to play LSU a couple days after that here at this ballpark. But right now, Jerry Glasgow and the Cajuns are looking to scratch at least one run across here to keep this contest going. And leading it off, it's Sophie Piscos, who's 0 for 2 tonight. Piscos has seen her average drop down to 444.
Only in South Louisiana. You know, it's not a 5th inning stretch, it's a 5th inning Cajun line dance. Yeehaw, baby.
And of course, on the other side of campus, it's they play center field by John Fogarty in the 7th inning stretch.
Two great traditions.
Yes, kind of like the uniqueness of it. Not kind of, I do like the uniqueness of it.
Very cool.
Doing something different instead of the traditional take me out to the ballpark. Piscos, Roman, Langeliers, and if anybody can get on, Crater. Alabama 9-0. And they have run ruled 4 teams this season. Southern Utah, Arizona, which is a nationally ranked team. Check that, 5 of their games have been run ruled. Also in there is Evansville and Middle Tennessee.
There's a reason they're ranked number 2.
Yep. Behind Oklahoma. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Oklahoma still looking like the team to beat in college softball.
That'll be strike 3. As Piscos took it. That's the 2nd time she struck out looking, and again, more off-speed stuff to the catcher.
She does not like that pitch. She will not swing at it.
There's Taylor Roman. Can you imagine, Coach? I think this is maybe you foresaw this. This is why you retired.
I can't wait for this.
Alabama and Oklahoma in the SEC, a weekend series.
And Texas.
And Texas.
As if the league wasn't strong enough. But how cool for the fans.
Oh, yes, yes.
And then for this ball club, for the Cajuns, they might be able to pick up some games with those teams.
Right.
You know, 60 miles down the road. But, you know, this Cajuns team could have been in the SEC for a long time.
Right.
They're that good. The score doesn't show it tonight, but the program itself has been that good for so long.
2-0. Interested to see how it, once the Cajuns get a few more games under their belt.
Well, they'll still be the cream of the crop of the Sun Belt.
But when they get a chance to play Texas again Sunday morning, the results could be a little different.
Yeah, it was not their night tonight. Game's not over, but they haven't had a lot of things go their way. They haven't made a lot of things go their way.
3 balls and no strikes. Roman trying to get on. She's 0 for 2 tonight. A couple of ground outs. Here's the 3-0, and she had the green light but couldn't make contact.
Might have been ball 4. Ball looked pretty inside.
Roman 6 of 15 at the plate this season. Has a couple walks on the year. Right down the middle for strike 2.
Cajuns have not been ready for that changeup. Oh, let me say, it's a good changeup.
And that one dives down low, ball 4. So we'll probably have a courtesy runner here for Taylor Roman. And again, Cajuns are just looking to push a run across to keep this game going. So they go to Jenna Keene. She'll be the courtesy runner. Jeff Palermo along with Yvette Girard from Lamson Park, Yvette Girard Field. Jenna Keene on the season's got 4 stolen bases. And mentioned how Jerry Glasgow loves to send runners in motion, and I would imagine she won't stand at first base for too long here. Langeliers takes one inside. She's 0 for 2 tonight.
And she's the second leading hitter on the Cajuns team. She came into the game tonight hitting .529.
Now hitting .500. Check that, 474. 474 on the season. Middle of the order has not done much here for the Cajuns tonight.
No, the bottom has been more productive.
Just fouled on the third base line. Piscos, the number 3 hitter, is 0 for 3. Roman, the cleanup hitter, is 0 for 2. And Langelier is also 0 for 2.
Which, if you're Jerry Glasgow and you want to look for something that was positive on the night, the bottom of the lineup.
Hayden, a good night, couple hits, an RBI, the lone RBI of the game.
I don't know if he's going to feel good about it, but I was just trying to find something positive.
Here's the 1-1. There's a strike on the outside corner. Keene still standing over at first base. And the 1-2. Just missed off that outside corner. Oh no, they called strike 3.
I thought it was a strike.
Not a very emphatic strike call from the home plate umpire.
I saw him kind of move to his right, but
Brian Crochet might be a little tired back there.
I think he said it, but didn't really motion it.
So the last hope here for the Cajuns is Laney Crater. Crater will take a strike.
And Kilfall has loaded up the strike zone.
80 pitches on the night for Kilfoyle. She's got 3 strikeouts. Cajuns again have left 7 runners on base. Could have been a much different kind of night. There goes the runner, the throw down to second, and we're still playing softball. Is sliding in there is Jenna Keene with her 5th stolen base.
Oh, I think they got her leaving early too.
Well, we are done with softball. That's it. That is how this game ends. As they say that Jenna Keene left too early, and Alabama gets the win. A 9-1 victory.
And you see the umpire with his arm out saying she did. You know, both times I thought, God, the catchers can't throw that any better. Right on the money, right on their toes, and